Greetings, everyone. Forgive me. It doesn't matter what I do, I just can't get this room lit. So just forget about the lighting and just listen to my words, okay? Now we're going to talk about Revelation 13. A lot of people like to share this. I'm going to give you my interpretation of it. I'm going to stand by my interpretation. If you have other views or opposing views, I welcome them. But I'm going to tell you what I see when I read that scripture. Now, the scripture starts out talking about a dragon that is seen, on the shore, really, and how this dragon comes and gives its power to the beast, the first beast. And in my understanding of this beast has 10 horns and 7 heads and 10 crowns and had blasphemy all over you know, its head. And when I think of a dragon, I think of a nation. And when I think of the beast, I think of it as a nation as well, but a group. So the nation of people give power to the same nation. And these ones' job or primary role is to go around the earth and to exercise a certain authority over the earth. Okay, and you see the beast described as leopard or bear or lion. And when you do your own research, you see which nation or which country these animals represent. Now, when you look at the first beast, you look at the organization, you see all the different countries in the world who have played a critical role in devastating many lives. You have people like Leopold, and you have nations like England and Leopold, of course, is from Denmark, and you see the devastation that happened in Germany, and so you understand the nature of the beast. There is a fatal wound that is inflicted on this particular beast, but this wound is not really fatal. It is not fatal. It's just a moment. If you look at history, you see all the different nations that ruled the earth at one time or the other, and then someone usually comes and take that power away from them. At this moment and in this time in history, China has become one of those global leaders, and so it can be added to the nations that are referred to as the beast. No, I didn't say China was the beast. I'm just saying China would be a part of the nations that made up the beast. 10 nations. And within this nation, they've already had a very terrible history, like I said, with the enslavement of African people, with the devastation in Israel, and with the devastation in Denmark. So the people worship the dragon who gave authority to the beast. So the nation, the dragons gave power to these nations. So the question is, who is like unto the beast? Only you can answer that for yourself. Which beast has had such a powerful influence upon the earth? And who usually wage war against these ones? We hear that they speak proud words. This beast speak proud words, words of blasphemy, and exercise authority for 3 years and 6 months. And in my opinion, these words of blasphemy it really declares that there is no God. And what theory have you heard that, it's just bing, bang, boof, bang, and there's an explosion and here we are? That is the blasphemy that this is saying, well, for 3.5 years, these ones have reigned supreme. What they have done, they have slandered God and its dwelling places. And so, we hear about the churches having this authority, and the churches used to be that moral compass for which, nations and leaders have always gone to, but they're cast aside now. Nobody's paying any attention to these religious leaders. But when I think about heaven, I think about Africa, and I think about the Caribbean areas. That's my heaven. What is your heaven is up to you. So don't come here and tell me what I'm supposed to see as heaven. If heaven is in the sky for you, stay blessed. But for me, I see it as the Caribbean and the African areas. And so this beast is given power to wage war against. They have been given power from the beginning of time, from history gone back, to wage war against my people. Okay, and when you look at that scripture, it talks about giving authority over every tribe. The only race of people who refer to themselves as tribe is African people, and all inhabitants worship. Of course, these ones have been very influential at going around the world and convincing the world that their God and their God look like them. So we go on and we hear that the lamb that was slain from creation of the world, if there's anything or anyone who can be referred to as a lamb, it's African people, it's black people. So a lot of us act like sheep. We go to the slaughter very willingly, but in our history, we have been forced. So I think the lamb could represent African people. It says, we'll go into captivity, we'll go into captivity, and those who will be killed with the sword will be killed by the sword. But we're asked for patience, endurance, and faithfulness. I think that is black people. Very faithful, can really endure, very resilient, and very faithful. So the second beast now comes out with 2 horns like a lamb, but spoke like a dragon. So that's like, these individuals who come out so nice and sweet and so soft, but they're very wicked. Okay, but these ones are going to be given or have been given authority from the first beast. And who? What a coincidence. Who has the power to exercise all the authority from which people? So they will make the earth and the inhabitants of the earth worship them, which is the first beast, and which is the dragon. And there's one group that had a fatal wound, one beast that had a fatal wound. And of course, I'll say there was a time when religion was the force that was guiding people's principles and behavior and action and so on. And scientists, for example, after a while was cast aside. But now we're seeing the scientists having all this say. They have more say now than religious people. And they will perform great signs. They will cause fire to come from the heavens to earth in full view. So again, heaven for me is Africa and the Caribbean area. And because some of us are lamb and so gullible, we are going to be able to see these fireworks and these floods and these earthquakes and these, so-called things of God. And we will say, yes, we're going to be convinced that what we're seeing is actually what it is, not realizing it is this great scientist or the second beast. First beast will give the second beast a power to perform on behalf of himself, and they will deceive the inhabitants of the earth. They will order people to set up an image in honor of the beast who was wounded by the sword and now live. Second beast is given power to give breath to the image of the first beast. And we said the first beast is an organization. We said the dragon is a people. And the second beast is another group that have always believed that there was no creator and that we come from a big bang theory. All people, whether rich, poor, free, slaves, they will receive the mark in their forehead. And it's not a literal mark, it's what you think. It's to convince you of something in your mind that, you're going to say, this is true, this is the reality. And a lot of what we see these days are illusion. And so you get the mark in your mind because you see it, you're bombarded with all these messages. And of course, if you don't have this thing in your right hand, you will not be able to buy or sell. We're up on that time right now. Now, in terms of this scripture, is it prophetic? Is it something that someone saw and wrote down and it's now happening? It's possible because I believe in prophecy. Someone could have had a dream and saw these things, but at the same time, someone could have seen that prophecy and tried to bring it about using their intention or their agenda to make it seem like this prophecy is coming to pass. But, you know, we just have to wait and see. And then we hear about the beast, that it's a number of its name and it's an organization. It's an organization that actually has put out a new, I would say, policy with the extension of 666 there. We're not going to talk about that right now. Anyway, before I finish this video, I want to say that from the beginning of time, nations and people have set out to try to destroy African people. It's not going to work out. I mean, nothing can be more devastating than enslavement of African people. And here we are. And our population keeps growing. Our nation keep growing. Our people keep... You can't destroy Black people. So when you look at all the little things that they've done in the past, all the different, scientific experiments that they've run on Black people, I mean, it's devastated some people. Yes, it's destroyed a lot of our people, but you cannot destroy God's people. You can't destroy Jah people. You can't destroy Black people. Every time you try to destroy Black people, every time you come up with an agenda or any evil plans to destroy our people, it backfires on you. You can't destroy Jah people. We are loved. We are created beautifully, just like any other race. But you know what? We are special. From the crown of our head to the sole of our feet, we are special. You cannot destroy Jah people. So you will come up and you will create all the stuff like AIDS and all the different venereal diseases and all the stuff that was created to try to destroy us, and all the vaccinations that to prevent us from procreating, and it just not work. It just can't work because guess what? We're special. We're anointed. And we got special purpose from the hair. We're the only ones with this kind of hair. You think that's a coincidence? It's not, So other nations might have dark skin, but we are special. We're special. And so I encourage folks, regardless of what you see in front of you, it's all an illusion. And the world cannot end until those who created it end it. Mankind don't have no power to end this. Mankind cannot eliminate you. Why you fearful? Let them do what they want to do and stand back and watch our Creator. Stay blessed, everyone.